All right, so when I began the Permaculture Business Design Course, I was speaking with someone and thought I would build a new business doing water catchment systems. And I created a recording of me going through the self-assessment form that I created for that. Well, if you've seen that video, I didn't end up making that business. The partner wasn't interested, and I've just been so engulfed with making this course that it really wasn't a timely thing for me to engage in anyhow. But the feedback I got was that the video I made for the assessment for was very helpful. So if you're one of those people who would love to see what it looks like when I fill out an assessment form, you're at the right video. I am going to just go through this and kind of read it to you. I think that's really what people got out of it, because you look at this and you don't really necessarily know where to start, right? Or what to leave blank. So I will tell you, this particular assessment form took me about an hour and a half to complete. I typed it all freehand. I did not cut and paste from other documents that I've written on this topic. It was just really me authentically going through the assessment form and answering the questions authentically in the moment. It took me about an hour and a half. You'll see here in the form that you have completed or will complete, there's some text in the front and the end, and I just eliminated all of this so that I start here. So that's why mine looks different from yours. So now that we're here, name of the business, I don't know yet. You don't have to either. I put to be determined. Briefly describe the project and the products or services you offer. Now, this is a place for you to throw your ideas down. The ideas I've been thinking about this for a long time. It's a very integrated process. So I've got more notes here than I think many people will, but I hope you get inspired by it and think of more things that you would like to put in your self-assessment form to start off your process in a good way, in a confident way. And also just to see where you're at with these things. Even just answering these questions is going to bring new ideas out for you, or frame things in ways that maybe you haven't taken the time to frame them in before. So, an introduction to what I've got in mind, describing the project and the products or services. I think my description here serves all of that. The products provided in this business model will be in various phases. So the first phase is non-perishable whole foods, which is what we'll be selling through the Buyers Club, with a focus on organic where available, especially for prepared goods, starting with items that are already readily available through commercial distributors and local producers with Ministry of Health certificate. Education is another piece that we will be providing in phase one and all of the phases, guiding people toward regenerative mindsets and lifestyle practices. We'll also create jobs, something we're producing here, and opportunities for community interaction at each phase. So this is the beginning here. I could, now that I'm, this is a living document. You're going to keep revising it. So now that I read it, I I could improve that. And you may be presenting what you've got to offer to investors as well. So keep refining it. Okay. Phase two, once the Buyers Club is established and we've begun collecting data points and getting some people already producing food locally on the network, then we're going to move into phase two, which is addition of locally produced goods to the directory of products by way of communally renting a kitchen space and having a liaison that helps new producers get their products certified. We also use data gathering to encourage local food growers to produce items that we know we have an active market for, including ingredients to be alchemized and preserved as value-added goods. We may also begin standardizing jars and other containers for locally produced value-added goods so we can provide them in a reuse economy model by implementing a deposit system. Grant-funded permaculture education might also be offered to help transitioning farmers who would like to provide organic goods for the market. So again, like, these are goods and services, they're aspects of my business. I have a very elaborate document written with a bunch of this stuff. I could have gone in there and copied and pasted over, but right now I'm just getting my ideas down as a starting point. Phase 3, so I'm forgetting some things in here. This doesn't have to be the super elaborate version. It's the starting point. Phase 3, co-op memberships will become available. Cooperative member-owned microbusinesses will develop expanding processing capacity for locally produced goods. It's going to be like a commercial size solar food dryer is one, or a solar bakery, or a workspace, could be, just different little micro enterprises, a tool bank, all kinds of possibilities, a coffee refinery. This phase 3 is no longer, the business is actually, to let you know, no longer a private enterprise. The business I'm designing here will be a private enterprise for phases 1 and 2, and there'll be a co-op forming to take on 3 and forward. Phase 4, as I imagine it, could be a time where once these co-ops are all established and we got little micro businesses all over the community, might as well get a complementary currency activated, right? There's a lot of benefits to this, including creating an additional value system that can be used to compensate members of the community for contributions that don't often carry high monetary value. Again, this is the system's creating products because there's people who have value to offer the community that aren't currently being valued monetarily, so they don't offer it. And so our community's lacking in value that we can realize and reward members for contributing that value through a complementary currency system. Phase 5 then is what we might as well just build a bioregional sociocratic organization that creates additional committees for benefiting the public welfare. That's my vision and its phases. And I don't really have a timeline yet, but that's what building this design is all about. Then I just make a note here, additional services will be described as the design process continues and feedback is gathered from the local community. I'm not presuming to know what the community wants through this venture yet. Describing my details, your ideal clients, there are exercises in this course that are going to take you deeper. Starting point for me is that my ideal clients are local residents and seasonal visitors who value wholesome food and would like to access a greater variety of it, cheaper than they can buy at the store, delivered closer to their home, knowing that by taking advantage of these benefits, they are also contributing to a program that is cultivating regional resilience economically, socially, and ecologically. So that's what I'm looking for. The demographics are all over the place. They're going to be foreigners. There's going to be locals. Probably in the beginning phases, just your ready customers for me are going to be people that will already value and purchase organic and whole foods, as well as those who are currently hesitating because it feels like they want to, but it's just outside of their budget or accessibility for whatever reason. So those people are also like right there ready to participate. And then I also note that later demographics will be determined as education strategies are developed. So we're not just dependent on people who already want our products. And I will allow the guidance of this course's worksheets to further define my avatar profiles. There will likely be more than one avatar profile created to address the unique needs of different segments of this market. Now, this is something that you'll hear in the course. I don't recommend having multiple avatars for most business ventures. Usually, you just kind of want to hone in on an audience. It's just easier to market to a single avatar profile. to begin with, and then you can expand your market. In my case, the model requires mass adaptation from the onset to collect data for all of these phases to really be confidently run. And there are many demographics that fit this initial piece also. So this is my main descriptor, and then I will just be refining the messaging based on what maybe just a local person in the neighborhood thinks about their motivations for being being a member versus someone like myself who's from another country and who already is spending money primarily on organic whole foods, and it's like a no-brainer. Obviously, I want to get it cheaper and closer to home, and I'm already spending money on it. Yeah. So in my case, I will have multiple avatars. Short-term goals: creating a smoothly operating, profit-producing, buyers club style marketplace for the Rio Chiripo region, which is where I live, providing non-perishable whole foods and organic products with more variety, lower prices, and increased access in a way that also creates jobs and promotes ecological and social well-being in the community. So you can tell I've already given this a lot of thought. I was able to really bring that concise. That is my primary goal. Matter of fact, I could probably copy and paste that into my mission, which is a little bit more vague. You'll see later. Other short-term goals include complete the business design before October 15th to submit to PINA's PDC contest, which is the fire under my butt to get this Dream Passion designed and submitted within, and today is, what's today here? The 17th of September, so I have just under a month. So I'm going to go through this course, guys. I'm going to go through this course in a month and do all the homework and build a design in a month. Now, granted, I have a lot more back information. I'm going to be able to skip through a lot of the videos. I don't have to watch all the videos. I recorded them, but I'm going to do all the steps, all of them. So, and you get to follow me on the adventure. I also, in short term, need to assemble a core team of, in my preference, half Costa Ricans and half foreigners to establish a local corporation to operate the business, along with other identified logistics needed to accomplish the mission. Stimulating interest among, now you see that, like, getting this core team, you might be a solopreneur, but if you have a business idea and you need other people, assembling the team is one of your primary objectives. More input's better in many cases once you've got your initial plan laid out. Stimulating interest among regional neighborhoods and assist to begin the formation of a cooperative to take over the business operations within the first 2 to 3 years. So this is like the, maybe not well, I guess in the process of developing this design, I'll be stimulating interest by talking to regional neighbors. So in the very process of building my business plan, I will be stimulating this interest. And part of my interviews with these people is, besides, why they would be members of the program, what they'd be interested in buying or not, or what their concerns are, is, would you like to know when we're start forming a co-op? You want to be part of this? Do you want a job in the business? So we already have those people on hand, pre-vetted. Creating jobs immediately among the people that are sorting and distributing the warehouse deliveries into individual orders for neighborhood pickup points, as well as other administrative tasks. That's a short-term goal. Encourage local producers of value-added goods to get certified so we can include them in the directory. And honestly, this goal right here, this is my primary impetus for this entire plan. I just saw fields and fields of conventional farming and water evaporation and sick rivers and springs. And so how do we get these people to convert to holistic land management practices? Like, I'm a foreigner here. I don't want to just go around preaching people, telling people what to do. And that's when it occurred to me. The only reason they're doing what they're doing is because that's how they feed their families. And they know that if they do that the way they're told, and they drop off their produce, be it cows, coffee, chickens, bananas, there's a cooperative that's going to purchase everything they grow. So let's create a cooperative that'll purchase everything they grow and ask them to grow it the way we like, the way the planet likes. And so that is actually the impetus, the beginning, the first goal of all of this. And then I'm going to, in a very short time, within the first year, replicate the model in at least one other, possibly two other locations nearby with friends that are going to help incubate it here in my region, so we can have a second and possible third set of data collection points from these different regions so that we can compare, gain perspective with inconsistencies and commonalities and so forth, so that we can more confidently incubate additional nodes. Long-term goals. We want to use the data collected from these purchases being made to empower local producers to replace imported products with locally produced versions. We want to encourage more farmers to transition to organic practices, reduce waste by creating a standardization and reuse system for the containers that are being used to deliver food to the customers. We're going to establish multiple cooperatively operated businesses to help process local produce into preserved and value-added products. We're going to establish a CSA program for produce once we have the infrastructure for that. The complementary currency is a long-term goal. Assist more local producers to expand their market through so we've got distribution channels in this through the Buyers Club that are going to be bringing food into our region. But then the cool synergy is when we've got people certified to sell their products through our network, they'll also be certified to sell it through the national distributors that send it to the grocery stores. So for any industrious individual that would like to scale their business, it's going to be set up for them. Matter of fact, we could even have liaisons that go to the grocery stores and talk to the managers, letting them know that we have an entire product line from our community or nodes of communities. So there's lots of potentials to feed our value back into the extractive system, bringing more money into our region. Influence healthier eating habits in the region. This is also a very prime objective of mine. I call it a long-term goal because, again, we're going to focus on people who already have good eating habits pretty much and work on the education piece after that. More cross-cultural connection in the region is of vital importance for regional resilience, that more people are talking to each other. One of the micro businesses that I have planned is a regional language school. We're going to replicate the model in a web of other bioregions throughout the country and hopefully the world. So why are each of these goals important to you? Now, okay, I might be bad. I know there's an exercise that's going to guide you through this later. So I'm skipping it because I'm also very thorough and I would just keep going. And I know the exercise. So in your case, I still encourage you to jot down some ideas. You don't have to go 7 layers deep on each one of them, but just what's your first responses? I could have modeled this better. Vision. Hey, I just threw down a first idea, and you can too. I know my vision and mission are going to change. I already saw a better mission statement higher above. But here, again, your vision is the world you want to see, and I want to see a world where wholesome food, regenerative land management, and community interactions are integrated into how we do business, so much so that the more that they're practiced, the more financial abundance the entire community will experience. I believe that creating a financial incentive for people to make the transitions in their life and land practices that they wish they could make is awesome. So that's the driving force behind it. The mission that I wrote here to create a circular economy incubator with a focus on food security, cooperative enterprises, community connection, waste reduction, and education dissemination. That's not a bad mission either. Values, I threw a few down here: personal well-being, holistic land management, community connection. I will put more energy into this later, and probably, since I will be doing this as a collective and a group, we'll be doing some value visioning exercises together. Current state, how do you feel about it? Whatever comes to the top of your mind. Personally, I'm very excited to be finally putting focused energy into this vision. I've been cultivating it for many years. I believe that the application of the permaculture design process in this course will help ensure that it's a robust design built to succeed. And honestly, I think that's one of the reasons I waited so long to do this, is because it was such a big project. I didn't really know how to start it in a full holistic way. And I ended up diverting my energy away from it so that I could learn more about regions in Costa Rica, expand through my podcast, just learn from other projects and how they're doing it, take more time to talk to more people about it, and ultimately build this course. This course is the framework that, while it's perfect for any simple business idea, it's exquisite in its ability to hold space for more complex ideas like this and bring it all together into a really grounded plan forward. So I think by the fates, or the way the universe has just turned out to be, it's meant to be, that I waited till I built the course before building this design. So, aspects of your organization that are currently working well, it's not operating yet. And what's not working well, to be determined. I could have thought about some things. Probably many people taking this course aren't going to be able to answer these two questions, but some will. And if you do have a business that's operating and you're wanting to use this course to improve it, really get honest with yourselves here. It's an important starting point for your pivot of growth. Now, improving your organization's operations. Again, this is more for businesses that are established, but let's see what I wrote here. How would I like it to operate differently? I look forward to having a dedicated team of people building this together. That's different than right now, where I'm just building it myself. Skills or capabilities that I feel are important for me to develop. Really a business of this scale, as much experience as I have in, teaching and operating groups and running work teams and project management and stuff for agricultural stuff, this is going to be next level. So I know I do need to improve on my leadership skills, my team coordination skills, budget projections for this caliber of an enterprise is going to be a next level for me. And also, I know quite a bit about fundraising, but I haven't really run strong fundraising campaigns since I've begun studying them. So I'm looking forward to refining my fundraising skills so I can get seed capital and also be better at assisting other projects and getting capital for their enterprises. Time that I can dedicate to the business weekly over the next few months, I threw in 10 hours a week. I have a lot of projects going on. You can do a lot in 10 focused hours a week. Especially when you're using worksheets that are you don't have to know what you don't know. The process just makes it so much easier. And then a year from now, I don't know. I imagine I don't really want to be working on it more than 10 hours a week. I want to have a team of people that are confidently doing this, and I'm meeting with them, and I do my part, and that's it. That's what I'm looking for. And eventually totally handing it off and just My job becomes helping to incubate new regions. Personal strengths and resources. Describe your existing network of individuals, groups. Okay, so this is another place where I did not modeling very well for this video. Perhaps there is an exercise that's going to draw this out deeper, but you might as well start the process now. I already have databases of this stuff. I have many lists of people already built from my other work and my work regionally here in the community that this is going to be both easy and extensive. So in your case, jot some things down, see what comes up. You will expand on it later. Skills that I've developed that are going to aid me in my organization's development. Well, I've got my permaculture education, which is giving me holistic design framework to work with, to approach this with. Business training, quite a bit of it. Experience living and working on a variety of farms, so I understand the agricultural component, and I could also talk about my experience living in, community environments where there's a lot of collaboration going on. Compassionate communication skills. I don't know. I guess wisdom kind of comes with age. I'm happy to say that while I have the vitality I did in my 20s and 30s, my ability to communicate with people differently than me has definitely been refined. A habit of designing from patterns to details. This is what I hope most to teach you through this course. It is the key. I'm tenacious, perseverant, and I'm also bilingual, which is going to aid tremendously. I have no budget identified in this case, as I intend to create a proposal for funding. Personal limiting factors. That's where we get to be honest with ourselves. Personally, I have a tendency to take on too many projects at a time, and that can lead to stress, inefficient time usage, and occasional dropped balls. I also, for financial factors, fundraising efforts could produce less results than the project requires to get started. And honestly, identifying your limiting factors here, like identifying that I could fail in my fundraising, is important. Because I'm going to design in, first of all, somebody else to help me make sure it doesn't fail. I'm going to design in extra education to make sure I prepare for it well. And I'm also going to put that right in my proposal to the funders. When you're doing fundraising, people want to see that you thought about your limiting factors. And in later lessons, I'm sure I'm going to find other limiting factors that come in this and in my market research, obstacles that I find in communicating with people the idea that are resistant for whatever reason. Other limitations is kind of putting some what ifs in here. Starting with the right team is crucial. This is kind of like the champion part of the limitation. A poor team would be not good. It's got to be a team that communicates harmoniously, shares a common vision, and is dedicated to the cause beyond their personal preferences. I'm identifying that right now. This business will fail if a bunch of ego gets involved. So I don't want a bunch of conflicts halting progress. That's why I'm taking the time to create a clear vision now so that the people who onboard, it's one thing, a lot of people, they start an enterprise or a community or something, and they want the people, they're trying to attract partners, and they want the partners to like co-create it with them. And honestly, you're going to find a better partner if you can have a solid starting point for the conversation. So yeah, my team is those who communicate harmoniously, they share a common vision, and they're dedicated to the cause beyond their personal preferences so that conflicts don't halt progress. I don't have residency yet. That's just one of those things I've been procrastinating. I haven't really needed it. Leaving the country every few months or now twice a year is just like not a big deal. I have reasons to leave the country. So I've been complacent on that, and my business is currently based in the United States, but this venture will get me to finally do the paperwork. A limitation here is, I need to really rein myself. I'm going to take this seriously. I need to put some other projects on hold and just really get this done. Organizational infrastructure, I don't have one yet. So with a team, I still haven't really, I could make something up, I could imagine, but it's so complex. I really need to identify the business's needs before I can identify the team beyond just saying CEO, CFO, etc. Remote assistants, yes, I do hire them and have for many years. This venture will focus on local employment for as many tasks as possible. Outsourcing is possible, but will be encouraged only when local talent is unavailable. Do you have a website? Yes, I do, but a new one will be built for this venture. Social media platforms, I'm already using them all, including local chats, and this pretty much will also. However, yeah, we won't necessarily be trying to sell food products to people outside of our region, but we do want to sell the idea. We want to encourage people to be doing this everywhere. This is an open source model that while I'll be offering myself as a consultant to incubate it in more regions, it's already open source. I've already been sharing the source document of this everywhere. So we will be promoting this to instigate change in other places. The email list, yes, the design will include regular communications to all stakeholders. People in my audience, I have a few thousand, but that'll increase as the team builds. A written business plan or pitch deck, not yet. That's what the course is all about. And legal infrastructure, nothing yet. Energy to be captured. Do you have any products or promotions prepared that you haven't launched yet? So in this case, this entire plan is an unlaunched product. Have I launched things in the past that didn't go as well as I hoped? And I'm just honest with myself here that, yeah, I've done various launch campaigns for products and courses and other things that, I mean, they didn't completely fail, but they didn't reach my goals. And I've proven less effective than hoped at these traditional mass marketing efforts. I do much better with organic methods, relationship building, marketing to get the clients that I've acquired in my business. Are you aware of any obvious, and this is good too, identifying this limit, again, helps me design in, I know I can't be in charge of marketing. I gotta find somebody else who's really got that dialed in. Even if we as a core team choose to budget money after the first round of profits to help us with that. And are you aware of any obvious or potential energy leaks? The main likelihood for energy leaks that I see will be in relation to the chosen team's collaborative dynamic, as well as any ego or personality interests that could cause diversions of energy. Also, another thing that I believe could be an energy leak is that if our branding doesn't feel relatable to the general population, it will limit adaptation. So that's it. If you made it to the end of this video, then I didn't bore you, which is great. So I hope you got value out of this. I hope it's given you perspective as to how you can see your business, either from the onset or later, give you a little peek into some things that are coming in the course. But I just encourage you to go ahead and fill this out. I think other people who filled this out have said it takes them more like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Like I said, I maybe have written down here more than some people do, but don't let that information keeping you from just brain dumping everything you got in this place. You can always copy and paste it into other relevant places later, but just get your enthusiasm out, get your ideas out, and I will see you in a next lesson. I hope this description of what I've put together supports you in doing the same for yourself. This is the first video that I'm recording in a series that's going to be me documenting myself going through this process. I don't know that I'll make a video for all the worksheets, but I might. I haven't even planned this series yet. I just know I'm doing this thing and I want to take you along on the journey. So I guess we will all see where the next video takes us.